Welcome back to today's Daily Peak. I am awake and alive, I swear. Um, yeah. Heart spam. Hi. Sorry. I I started thinking hard instead of talking. Um, I'm doing great. I woke up with a kind of like it's not necessarily a tight feeling. That would be wrong. That's inaccurate. But maybe like a heavy feeling in my chest, which was like exaggerating my breathing, you know? I didn't feel like I was, short of breath or anything. It felt like I couldn't breathe because I was in too tight a space. Like, can't breathe in the sense of, like, I don't have the physical room. So I spent a solid half hour in bed waiting for that to go away. Because Jesus fucking Christ. Anyway, I am gonna go ahead and start off the day. I'm gonna boot up the game. I'm gonna take my meds with a Lost and Found Energy strawberry pop flavor. Which, by the way, I ordered a restock on energy drinks because I'm down to like 9, 8 now. Um, and yeah, it's not ideal because they weren't on sale or anything, you know? This brand usually goes on sale frequently enough that I can pretty consistently get the drinks on sale. My phone just fell. It spooked me so bad. I've had my meds. I am getting my vitamins now. Um yeah. I do like I think my running theory for why it feels like I'm more tired now than before I started taking a bunch of meds. Um like I pretty definitively feel better is the thing. Or like I feel worse but I feel better. And I think it's because I have mitigated these symptoms enough that my brain is like, okay, we are now at a point where this is a fixable amount of tired, and I don't need to like flood everything with adrenaline all the time to fix it. And that's good in the long term, but right now it sucks. I gotta do my best. but I have only gotten more tired since my brain decided it's finally able to not just flood me with adrenaline 24/7, because I don't have, like, things going on every day anymore. So, you know. Like, my brain is not suited for what I've been forcing it to do. But that's like, my running theory is I feel more tired now because my brain has decided that this is a recoverable condition and wants me to actually try and rest. You know? Or it's like, okay, we're finally a little bit safe, kinda. So it's time to bring back all of these, hey, you're too tired for this signals. It's like, I appreciate that my brain trusts me to get some of the work done. But also, fuck you so bad. The adrenaline wasn't healthy either, but like, now I feel bad. As opposed to feeling nothing and also remembering nothing. It's probably better that I have a functional memory. Mostly. It's still not great, but I can more consistently recall things. I remembered the name of a local Chinese restaurant that I had only been to once. That's wild for me. Because, like, a couple years back, I could barely remember the name of the place that I got, like, takeout from every month, I think. Did I? It feels like I got it there a lot. But I also really loved it. And enough of the memories around that would be either unremarkable or unpleasant. I might be thinking of incidents over multiple years. Anyway, I needed to be told that place's name a bunch of times before I remembered it. Not even a hard name. It's one of those, like, oh yeah, I remember not just this restaurant, but what I got here last time and how I liked it. Which, oh boy, that's something. It doesn't sound big, but it is big. Because I went to local Chinese place. I remembered the last time I was there, which was, I believe, with just me and my mom. We were doing I don't know what we were doing, but um but we went out there. I got the sesame chicken because I like sesame chicken a bunch and order it. I usually order it over anything else. Like, I get it pretty consistently. But I remembered that here, it was like a particularly crispy uh, chicken. And then I ordered the chicken again, and I tasted it, and it was fucking crispy. This doesn't sound all that impressive, but I need you to know that this is big for me. This didn't even happen recently. It's just... I'm not used to being able to remember things at all. So going back and reminiscing on this memory of me remembering a thing, as opposed to just kind of making it up and hoping that no one calls me out on it. Which, I'm gonna be honest, is how I got through a decent chunk of life. Like, full-on guess and check method. Ah! I can do callbacks far more consistently. I got a weird phone call the other day. That happened on stream, by the way. And I still remember it. As in, like, that had happened. I didn't actually answer it. I let it go to voicemail. But, you know. That shit's mundane, and it's still up here, baby. Yesterday, I had several meals. I think it was bagels for breakfast, some chicken for lunch, and a pasta bowl that my dad made for dinner. I remember that. You know how wild that is? It's not, I barely feel like I'm guessing there. It's great. My memory is so much better on average. Hey, Digi. It's nice to see you. Heart spam. Not only is it nice to see you, you are nice to see. This is a quality you have. Like, yes, it's nice to see you now, but I also don't remember a time in which I was distressed by seeing you. Even in that kind of that delay period between oh, we should get the Vocaloid thing done and actually getting it done, where my brain usually registers people as like, oh god, I haven't done a thing associated with them. Panic response time. Because I need to do the thing. Even during that period, it was still nice to see you. I wasn't having that reaction. You are a beacon of safety. My internal sense of the anxiety is it does not register anything with you. Comfy cozy dog energy. Heart spam. I have 3 notifications and I should only have 2. What the fuck? Oh, okay. Over on the Shadow Realms server, they are delaying quest submissions because they're working on an in-game UI instead of a Discord-based one, which I think rules. Digi, least threatening person. Hell yeah. Digi, parentheses, beacon in the fog. Wow, that's a lot less trees than I was expecting. Hey, you do not need to worry about the Utah thing. I'm good. The other day you said that there was a decent chance of getting laid off. Yeah, I didn't expect you to still be working on it. Okay, red mushrooms are healing today. These are red shroom berries. Wonder what flavor shroomberry is. Gonna guess mushroom. Wild guess, I know. I'm gonna say it tastes like a mushroom. That's fair. I only have the one association with the flavor of mushroom. And it's whatever the fuck they put on pizza. Dang it. Portobello, the de facto mushroom of America. Lovely. I'm glad it is infamous. I'm glad I am most familiar with mushroom generic. The only easy mushroom to get everywhere. That makes sense. There's no way chicken of the woods is fucking universal. Not everywhere has woods. Hey, speaking of fucking avians in the forest, my area has a bunch of wild turkeys. Oh. Get that fucker out of here. Yep, it's just on the ground. Ah! There we go. We have a bunch of fucking wild turkeys in our area. And notably, they are plentiful enough that once my mom was driving on a kind of like back roady situation, you know? And just kind of, it was pretty late at night. She works the night shift. This is not an infrequent drive. This is not a rare time for her to drive. Pretty experienced night driver. Doesn't get surprised by things all that easily. One night, she was out on like a kind of back road, and seemingly out of nowhere, a wild turkey flew from the nearby bushes and impacted the windshield so hard it looked like it had been hit by a wrecking ball. It was partially caved in. It didn't break all the way through, which is good, because otherwise there would be a new worse problem of there being a turkey in the car. Instead, it just kind of rolled over the top. But, like, that was a cannonball force turkey that took out the car windshield. Can you imagine? Can you imagine such a fat bird going after your ass so hard that it looks like your car got hit by a cannon, like a naval cannon? Your car got in the middle of a fucking World War, not a World War even, a fucking Civil War reenactment. The fucking Honda Civic got hit by a cannon. Sorry. So much bird in the bird. An incredible amount of bird in that bird. A vast quantity of bird. All condensed into one bird. A density of bird. A mass. I need to get back into doing 3D work. I went through and cooked up a design sometime in the middle of the night last night. I honestly do not remember the specifics of when I was thinking about this. For industrial era armor. To be used in Vintage Story, was my thought. Because I run the guild known as the Prospectors. And a lot of the inspiration for the aesthetics of the Prospectors is based in the like 1920s West Virginia mine wars. West Virginia coal wars? Whatever. It's one of the two. So I spent a decent amount of time going through and trying to figure out, hey, what did body armor look like in the 20s? And it turns out, it looks like a suit jacket with steel plates in it. I'm not even joking, they were so goddamn fancy back then. But notably, I was looking through some pictures from like local newspapers regarding like what the workers looked like on the site of conflicts during the West Virginia mine wars. And a lot of it was just, I am wearing my casual clothes because I know damn well I'm not gonna be able to make anything on this work site that will stop a bullet. Which, fair. Makes sense. Where it's like, no, the armor's pointless. I'm going to free up my whole body for, you know, being able to move. And you don't really need to be trained to wear no armor. Like, unarmored is a default proficiency. Everyone's got that one. Ah, shoot. But, like, yeah, I do fully get, yeah, no, I'm just going to wear my work clothes. Because nothing is going to stop a Pinkerton bullet from tearing my shit apart. But, like, aside from that, which I will note, those work clothes are not actually all that bad for getting stuck in a melee. And seeing that did give me that idea of the design incentives of, hey, we are trying to compensate for firearms, and we know that firearms are powerful enough to punch through basically anything we could throw together in a shed. So they just didn't bother with any kind of more complex body armor. But they were also, like, not a super well-funded group. I'm designing armor for the Prospectors Guild. The Prospectors Guild is a notable communist force that maintains a large resource stockpile. Like, that's one of the big things. Fuck, I was really hoping that would get rid of some of my cold. I guess the healing mushroom doesn't warm you. Okay. But yes, Prospectors Guild. A relatively prosperous organization. I'm probably gonna need that. So it would be more of a better safe than sorry situation than we're doing what we can with what we have situation. Or rather, it is doing what we can with what we have. It just so happens that the prospectors have quite a bit. And it is true that the goal would be light, medium armor max. So my thoughts for Prospector armor was basically, I found this old photo of a World War I era soldier. Let me summon it out of my Discord rant. One second. Save image. Save it to my downloads. Go to my downloads. Put image on screen. This guy. This guy fought in World War I. This is some of the, like, full body armor that you might find on the field during that period. If you'll notice, he's got he's got the like chest piece, right? And he's got arms covered. You guys can't like see my cursor or anything here, but like he's got, hold on, let me. Okay, so you'll notice, you can see he's got a chest piece here. And he's got his arms covered. So there's like metal bits there, there, and there. And kind of simple like steel helmet, basically just a round plate, which has been like had a head-shaped dent put in it. And otherwise, like this situation, he's not wearing any leg armor at all. This clothing is notably kind of loose, which, you know, implies there is a certain level of bagginess here. The cloth does not look particularly thick or anything. So this isn't like gamboized or anything. That's just clothes. So if you look over this, you can get a sense of the like incentives, the design choices here. They were looking to have soldiers with free movement, so the legs are relatively unimpeded, and to protect basically just torso and head primarily, and arms kind of secondarily. Because you can see it's like these bits are covered, but his shoulder is exposed. So it's like, yeah, you're not like constructing this for someone with a great sword turning up and slashing down at that shoulder. That is an exposed shoulder. This would be terrible for a sword fight. You are designing this to like minimize the chances that you have a soldier put out of commission when they are shot. Like, this minimizes the amount of damage to the arms or the torso that will be received when you are inevitably hit with a bullet. It's like best chance at survival, minimizing the chance that you are like useless on the battlefield. You can keep shooting without legs, at least enough to be like recovered by a medic or whatever. That situation. I find that this is an interesting set of incentives. You can see this is overall the design that I would go for Prospector armor. Except I would put a little more focus on the shoulders in there, and a little bit more in like shin guards, because the expected location for prospectors to be fighting in isn't like open fields of war, it's caves. The expectation is you are in confined spaces with a monstrosity made of metal that would really like to eat your face off. Yes, I would like to remove these images now. So, keeping that like armor design, my idea for like Prospectors Guild armor was essentially that. A breastplate with like some pauldrons, and like guards on the forearms and shins, effectively. But not anything that covers the joints, so you still have wide freedom of movement, and not anything particularly heavy, because you want to be maneuverable. And instead of a helmet, I was thinking headband with a headlight. Like, okay. Just to go back to this Discord rant that I was in, that I was experiencing, that I was inflicting on others. Uh, these headlamps. I really like them. I like them. Which, by the way, that is the fit that you would have during the West Virginia mining wars. Is your work clothes, a bandana around your neck to show solidarity, and like, you know, a like denim hat, basically. Like the material concern here is this is all made of denim and canvas and shit. It is tough fabrics. They aren't amazing at insulating, but they're better than nothing. Because going into mines, caves, that kind of thing, the like temperature down there is moderated. You know? Like if it's cold on the surface, it's warmer in the caves. If it's warm on the surface, it's colder in the caves. It's always like a little more towards like a 10-degree situation. Celsius, I mean. Like you're gonna average out around there. Maybe closer to like 15. I don't know. But it's like an environment which will naturally mitigate the temperatures. So you care more about preventing scrapes than you do about staying warm or staying cool. So you can see that those outfits had like maximum coverage of the body and less in the way of like, oh, these are thick layers so we're warm, or thick layers to like avoid impacts. That wasn't the case for that. It was tough fabrics that are unlikely to tear and stuff. It's a very utilitarian fit. Oh, also, one more image that I want to show off just because I thought it was very funny when I found it. This guy. Look at that bullshit. This is how they used to test bulletproof vests. And just like as an additional element, look at that bulletproof vest. That is just a suit jacket. That man is wearing a waistcoat. They have sewn some metal plates into there. And that's it. Like, look at that shit. They are shooting him point blank. Now, this could very well be an edited image, but like, oh my god. Even the idea that they tested out bulletproof vests like that is the funniest shit in the world to me. But yes, I was going over all of these historical references in an attempt to figure out what the Prospectors Guild would, like, make their armor be as, like a very early industrial organization. This would be, like, the expected time period of the Prospectors Guild is guns have just started being a thing and we're trying to figure out how to compensate for them. And when you look at like military equipment of the time, you can get that vibe strongly with that like breastplate situation from World War One. I say that like firearms have just become a thing. They haven't just become a thing. They have been around long enough that we know some of the basics. If we're looking for when guns have just become a thing, like widely used in warfare, you're looking back at Revolutionary era equipment, which was your fanciest coat. Everyone would wear their fanciest coat and like maybe some extra leather underneath that. And you would all stand up in a line, and you would fire off your first shot. And then the enemy would fire off their first shot. And then whichever one of you didn't die, so like the second row steps up after the first row keels over, and the fucking second row all sends off their one bullet. And you keep doing this until one of the armies is dead. That was Revolutionary era warfare. Which, a very gentlemanly affair. I'll say that. But it's not really one that plays with ideas of, we think we can make a lot of people survive this. It's like, yeah, we put you at the front, and this is to indicate that we think you are definitely dying. We have discounted the first 3 rows of soldiers. Like, I'm sure the tactics were a little more advanced than that. But, like, how much more? You know? Because, like, Americans in the Revolutionary War using guerrilla warfare was, like, the first time that was used on a wide enough scale that we were able to take the British by surprise by not lining up in a big field. So, like, how much more complicated? You know? So yeah, my core design for Prospector armor is you are in the age where firearms have become prevalent, not just firearms in general, to like things that you can reload a little faster than black powder. Like, you are starting to get into the age of like lever action and repeating firearms. Revolvers have just become a thing. You can shoot 6 times before you need to spend 5 minutes reloading. The Founding Fathers never considered this, etc. Like, you are in the age where there are brands of gun for the first time. Anyway, in that age, you are dealing with very basic compensation for, like, bullets as things. You are less worried, if at all worried, about melee. I think the assumption is generally, if you have ended up in a melee, there has been a large problem. Like, you have already made several mistakes if you are in a melee. So it's a lot of what I mentioned, that like World War I soldier armor, where it is like, yeah, it covers your chest and your arms, and that's it. Because outside of like needing to make sure you can keep shooting, we care most that you are maneuverable. because you're going to be doing more running than anything. Like, after you have fired off your shots, you are doing a lot of repositioning and running around, and less in the way of the other shit. It is armor with a high focus on maneuverability and protecting the core of your person, without much concern for limbs, because the idea is you are taking piercing strikes, to phrase it a little differently. The assumption is you are getting stabbed instead of, like, you are at risk of being slashed. And you aren't going to be taking blunt damage, because it's bullets, you know? You are getting stabbed. Okay. I am leaving my pack there. I thought that was a red shroomberry. It was not. I need to spend as long as possible on the ground here. Because otherwise I am dead. I can die twice here, is the thing. And once gets me back to a kind of convenient position, and twice sends me back real far. Anyway, Prospector situation is a little different. The, like, method of combat that you are expecting is you are fighting rust monsters in close quarters. Notably, rust monsters are largely, like, slashing. Not even. They are mostly, like, some basic blunt damage that they're going to do to you. Because they're drifters who punch you. There are shivers that kind of slash at you. And there are Bowtorn which shoot arrows at you. Generally speaking, you are in close confines. You need to be maneuverable. You need to be decent in a melee. And you also need to go your entire workday wearing this outfit. Because this isn't, we are going into a combat. This is, I am putting on my uniform and going to work. You know? Like, this is what you have to wear to the mines, because otherwise, you are going to die down there. Because otherwise, the rust will get you. So you are looking for something that is light enough that you can wear it all day, protective enough that it will keep you safe in a melee, and has the kind of, like, tough fabrics, but not necessarily insulating fabrics, that you need for a, like, labor job. Oh, and also underground utility. That's one of those things. And just to kind of, like, throw in an extra little element, rust monsters are called that for a reason. They are little entities of decay. Ideally, you use your longest-lived materials, because that shit's gonna start decaying when they hit it. Now, that isn't reflected mechanically in Vintage Story. It is just like a little extra detail to have some design things. And an excuse to up the cost, because the best way to make armor that degrades as little as possible, while still being, like, maximally protective and everything, is basically steel plates held together with gold fittings. Because gold doesn't decay. Gold will be around forever. It's the thing you want to have holding your shit together. And, like, sure, it's heavy. That's why it's just the fittings. It is attached with, like, sturdy leather, which has been specially reinforced and everything. And you are using that to put on steel plates, which are capable of corroding, of course, but are going to do so a lot less quickly than any other material you have access to. God damn it, this is not a good time to get wind. Fuck. Okay. So yeah, I am looking at breastplate, wrist guard, shin guard as the core bits of the armor, which are attached in such a way that they do not overlap with the joints all that much. And they allow for some decent freedom of movement while simultaneously being protective enough that they will keep you some level of safe in a melee, and having the utility of like having that like thick canvas or denim clothing underneath it, so that you don't like scratch it well at work or well in a melee with a rust monster. And of course, on top of that, you are going to have like that is your minor uniform. That is not like the fighter outfit. That is your day-to-day work wear. Because your fighter outfit can afford to be a little less maneuverable because you're not going to be wearing it all the time. So you have like your mid-tier, your like medium armor level, the like prospector equipment, which has like your basic mining utilities as well as shit like steel breastplate and all that, held together with gold fittings because they have to be. Like gold and sturdy leather, because anything else will decay. And it doesn't matter what the plate is made out of if the fittings are made out of rust. Doesn't matter what the plate's made out of, it'll fall off of you. So that is your like prospector gear, and then you have your lightkeeper gear, which is heavier. It has like pauldrons and shit, also held together with gold and sturdy leather. And they're like the mine guard, basically. Like when there is a rust incursion or whatever, or like the miners dig into an old ruin which is infested with locusts, they retreat. Hopefully they survive because they have just enough protection to maybe fight off a couple monsters and definitely retreat. And then you call in the lightkeepers, who are wearing their like heavier equipment with like the pauldrons and everything. They probably have lanterns built into that shit because of course they do. That's like the symbol of the prospectors. So they are glowing warriors in steel plate, held together with golden fittings. And something like a sturdy leather jerkin underneath. Still more maneuverable than something like, standard plate armor, because you are in a mine, you are in these like close confines, you need to react quickly to the things that are happening around you. Um like you're not on like the open field of battle. You're in a like cramped situation. You need to react quickly. You are in the dark, notably. So it is like a half plate, I would say, held together with that like sturdy leather jerkin and such and like golden fittings. So anyway, I had that whole idea for an armor set for the prospectors. Um as like industrial era armor which you can actually see like someone in that era wearing because the prospectors are sitting here like, yeah, basic firearms exist in this setting, but we're not expecting them to be used against us because, you know, we're fighting Rust. We're not fighting other people. Um, yeah. So you're dealing with the utility focused armor set, which is specially modified compared to a normal armor set to defend against rust, because that's what you find in the caves. I don't know if you can tell, but I've put a lot of thought into this. I've been thinking about prospector armor for a hot minute, like all night. So, with all of that said, I'm sure I repeated myself so many times, I'm sure. Um, I would like to thank everybody who tuned in today. I appreciate your viewership. If you like what I do, you can check out my Ko-Fi page. And I will see all of you guys next time. Bye.